Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Magic Howells Opera House. In this episode, we will continue sharing our appreciation and love for this historic Howells Opera House, how we felt when the COVID-19 pandemic shut us down for a while, how happy we were to be able to perform again, and now how important it is for us to get our compromised ceiling structure repaired so that we can have performances again for many, many years. Thank you, and please enjoy. What draws you here?
Man, that's a good question. I like being creative. I like being creative. I didn't start doing anything with theater until out of high school. I did a little bit in Pocatello for the summer theaters. I always wanted to be on the stage, and I would go to every tryout pretty much for the class plays and such at Highland High School. My best friend was a good actor. I would sit in the back, chicken out, and leave.
You never auditioned?
I never got into audition. The only thing I did that wasn't musical on the stage was the senior class. It was a spoof. It was kind of a variety show sort of thing. And I was like laughing. I was the little guy that sat on the park bench and harassed Ruth Buzzy.
So, do you have what are your feelings for being in plays and what we do here?
I enjoy it. I think it's a good outlet. It's a good creative outlet, and I like being on the stage, but I really like being up in the light booth. I like creating the scenes, but I really like watching what goes on with the players, from the tryouts right up through dress rehearsal and the production, and just seeing how people fall into roles, and especially young people, how they change as they're exposed to this stage and then to an audience. Both my daughters were out here on the theater in one capacity or another, and it was good for them. It was good for them. Yeah.
So, has anything crazy ever happened to you while you've been on stage or while you watched? Can you think of any bad those things? This is live theater.
I can think of something I did. It was my fault too. I'm running lights. We're doing West Side Story. I remember the bed was over here. It was in the bedroom scene where Maria's talking to her good friend and sister to the boyfriend. And I thought that everyone was off stage for the scene change, and I brought the lights up, and Kent Evanson's daughter, Audrey, was still on stage. And as the lights come up, you have 5 seconds, she zipped under the bed because that was the closest place to conceal herself. And she had a headphone on. She was the stage manager. So she's under there, she can whisper and we can hear her, so can the director, but nobody else knows she's under there. So her father walks in that scene. He's a detective, a policeman. And,
her real father?
Yes, her real father, Kent, was in the show.
Okay.
And she's under and she starts singing, "Papa, can you see me? Papa, can you hear me?" from Fiddler on the Roof. And we're cracking up.
Oh my heavens.
She's just doing it very soft. And anyway, so yeah, that was kind of fun. Trapping stage crew.
I was backstage then.
Were you?
And I remember, and somebody said, "Audrey's under the bed."
Under the bed. Audrey's under the bed. Yeah. Yeah.
And the audience never knew.
No.
What was your background in acting?
Well, I just did my school musicals growing up, and then fell in love with choir and became a choir director. And my first job, I was asked to direct a musical. So I had done only that experience of just participating, and then got the opportunity to direct a few high school shows.
And then you've done that all your life?
Yeah, so I've done 10 shows now that I've directed or music directed. So
how many have you been in?
As an adult, only 2.
Two? Okay.
Yes. So post high school, I've only done 2 shows.
So what do you like the best?
I like seeing people grow and do new things, and so I really like that with my students. So that part's fun, but there are some shows that I definitely want to do, and so I'm just waiting for the opportunity.
So was Scarlet Pimpernel one of those?
Absolutely. I saw it when I was 17 and have always wanted to be in it since. So this was it. This was a great opportunity to do it.
So you arrived for auditions, and what happened?
Well, when I first met anyone from the theater was when we came out to see Let's Murder Marcia. And so I felt like I already knew a few people, especially you and Jan. I was able to get to know people. I walked in and immediately felt like this is a good place to be. I like the feel of the small theater. I like the natural sound, lots of basketballs. Walking out at the audition afterwards was just so much fun to just see people that were encouraging and wanting everyone to be there, and it was probably the easiest audition I've been to.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you get scared when you audition?
absolutely.
And they're terrible auditions, right?
I have a lot of stage fright when it comes to performing by myself, so auditions are always hard for me. But I try and do it more and more because I want to encourage my students to audition for things. So I try and tell them, well, I'm doing it. How about you try?
So then we get into rehearsals and performances. What was your experience with our little group?
Oh, I just loved walking into rehearsal every day. There were always people encouraging and new friends, lots of people that want to just be there together and create a family. There were some people that it was their first show with Oakley, and then other people who have had this family for a long time. And so it was just like walking into a family that already existed, and everyone was there welcoming new people.
What I would like to know is what your experience has been in being in all these plays and things through the many years that you've done this. What has been your experience with the Oakley Valley Arts Council and our theater?
Well,
why do you do these things is really the question.
I've asked the same thing of myself.
Of yourself.
Why I do this, because it's my life, I guess. I've just been doing it my whole life, and it's so joyous, and I'm always learning something, and I meet fantastic people during each show, and there's just so much joy to spread around, and art. I mean, the art of the theater goes on for forever. There's always things to find, and always hard work to things that you want to accomplish, and help others accomplish those goals, and it's just so fun. I guess that's why I've always liked it, because there's, especially musical theater, I think I studied acting, but I really just wanted to try and do the musical theater.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, and I love music, and so it's a great combination. And then you've got all the set building, and there's so much to learn about perspective and art. Again, there's many different arts, how the lighting needs to be, and special effects. And one thing that I love about OVAC is it seems like there's always a little surprise somewhere. And I love that element of surprise. I can't wait to see what we're going to do that's going to surprise audiences. And it's just so inspiring. It's inspiring for me, and it just elevates me. And people come up to me all the time, and they just tell me how much they enjoy it, and how much they miss it since we've been gone. So
what is a funny or panicky moment that you have experienced in any of the shows that you've been involved with that you want to share with us?
Oh, there have been panicky moments, that's for sure. One time, we had a scene and I had to do this quick costume change. So while I was doing this costume change, this young man, it was his first time on stage. He was supposed to do some juggling act, you know, and that was going to keep the audience, you know, entertained while he was juggling. And I realized I was in the wrong costume.
Oh.
And I would do things like that. And they were waiting for me to get in there, and I was just like putting on my clothes and running through the door and ran down the, you know, down the aisle, and the director was going, oh, I was wondering if you were coming, you know, and that poor kid, you know, who had been juggling, you know, he did a great job, and I gave him a special gift because I said, how were you? And he says, I was nervous. And
Yeah. 20 seconds feels like an hour and a half if somebody's not there.
oh, I don't, that's why I would always worry about lines. I never wanted to put someone in a spot where they'd have to ad lib for me. So there's a real need there. The community is missing us, and they want us to get back, and they're used to seeing us out there, and there's so many in our community that have benefited from us. Teenagers, young children who start out and then they get a little older and they're in a production, and then they're as a teenager, and then they come back as an adult, and we see them throughout their whole life.
You see them grow.
Absolutely. And then, of course, all of us are still growing. I mean, even in our later age, we're still growing. We're still learning. There's still things that we can learn. There's something always in theater that you can teach your audiences. And they have always said, your theater is the intelligence of your community. And so we keep trying to, but comedy is wonderful. It relieves stress. It heals relationships. It starts relationships. It just creates so much joy in a community. And I can tell that our community is really missing it.